The Wall Street Journal standing up against what they call cancel culture within their own ranks. The editorial board saying that they will not, quote, wilt under the pressure after 280 staffers sent a letter demanding that the paper fact-check and be more transparent in its opinion pages. Joining me now, District Media President Beverly Hallberg. You know, Beverly, there's been some tensions there for a long time, but golly, to see it spill out like that is really amazing. And we've seen other media outlets, particularly magazines and newspapers, where established folks, very successful people have been pushed out. What do you make of this one?
It was just a matter of time before this came to the Wall Street Journal itself. As you're mentioning, there are other outlets that have seen it. The New York Times, most notably, had a lot of chaos when Senator Tom Cotton did pen an op-ed about his preference of using military to quell the riots taking place. But you also had one of their opinion columnists roughly 10 days ago penned this really damning resignation against her colleagues, saying that she had been bullied just by having divergent views, by not falling in line with this progressive woke ideology. So I give a lot of credit to the Wall Street Journal, who made it very clear they are not the New York Times and that they're not going to succumb to cancel culture.
Well, I guess, though, who has succumbed are conservatives, particularly strong conservatives. A survey by Cato says only 23% of strong conservatives feel comfortable talking about how they feel about things, whereas 58% of strong liberals are okay with it. So it's providing cover for liberals with real strong opinions. But if you're in society today and you're a conservative, you've got to keep your mouth shut. There's something wrong with that.
Is a huge problem with this. And here's what I think is ironic. When you saw a few weeks ago when there was a lot of coverage on Black Lives Matter, the political organization, I think conservatives who have an issue with the political organization, while they still believe that Black lives do matter and are important, they found that they were met with people saying that their silence was deafening and that silence is violence. Now we hear that speech is violence. So if you have the wrong opinion, then that is violence as well. And so I think what many people are doing out there are just keeping quiet. They're afraid to speak up. They don't want to get into contentious debates. And for those progressives out there who really believe in their ideology, what you should want is a productive conversation. People's ideas on things, their thoughts on things, don't go away just because you silence them. In many cases, bad ideas tend to go underground and fester. We should want productive debate, but that's not what the woke mob wants, Charles.
Something tells me that we really might get a test of the silent majority in November. Meanwhile, you know, we didn't share the winners this week, but I would be remiss not to talk about a big loser, and that's New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. He is now telling New Yorkers that what is and isn't substantial enough to be a food to enjoy it with drinks at a bar or restaurant. So as many of these places are closing or barely hanging on, he wants to squash their natural survival instincts to do things like Cuomo chips that were designed just to overcome another one of his absurd rules. And here we are again, Andrew Cuomo at war with New York bars. Beverly, he's my loser of the week.
He is a big loser. First of all, he is still not fessed up to his bad policy of letting people who had COVID into nursing homes. We still don't know how many people died because of it. And now he's saying that you can't eat chicken wings if you go to a bar, that it must be a sandwich. You see, what I do like with this is that restaurants are getting creative with those Cuomo chips, saying just pay $1. Fine, we'll go along with this silly regulation. But what you see with the governor here in New York is he's a little power hungry, taking that executive authority and taking it to an extreme. And sadly, it's the New Yorkers in that state who are the ones who are on the losing side of this. And those small businesses. Beverly, thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, folks, let's